as group.
This week on Must Be Unsolved, we discuss what may be the oldest mystery in the United States, the lost colony of Roanoke. Do you know anything about this one? No.
Colonial intrigue.
It's pretty much an entire island of people vanishing, poof, without a trace.
They poofed.
Yeah, I guess you could say it that way.
Yeah, we heard about this in grade school.
You learned about this in grade school?
I went to a very grim grade school.
That explains a lot. Let's get into it. On May 8th, 1587, approximately 120 settlers left England and sailed to Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina, arriving sometime in July 1587. The governor of the new 1587 Roanoke settlement was John White, an explorer and artist. There were a few small attacks from local Native Americans within the first month, and the colonists reportedly desperately wanted John White to return to England and retrieve more supplies for them, such as food, tools, and more people. So on August 25th, 1587, just a month after arriving, White sailed back to England to gather supplies, leaving behind 115 colonists, 87 men, 17 women, and 11 children, including his own daughter, Eleanor White Dare, who had just given birth to a daughter, and White's granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first baby born in North America to English parents.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, and she's kind of like, at least the name Dare is kind of etched into all of our history, like there's Dare County.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. It's such a pain in the ass to have to go back to England all the time.
I've done things where I forget something at home when I go to work. I forget my laptop at home sometimes. I gotta drive back. Could you imagine if you went out on a voyage and you realize, fuck, forgot
food?
Well, looks like I'll hop back in the boat. See you in 3 years.
It took 3 fucking years?
Yeah. Unfortunately, White's timing was poor. England was on the verge of going to war with Spain, which had a particularly strong armada, and he was unable to return to Roanoke for some time. It was not until August of 1590, 3 years later, that White would finally make his way back to the island. To his bewilderment, when White arrived, he found that the entire colony had vanished without a trace. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan, carved into a fence post, and crow, carved into a tree. If they had the foresight to write that clue, why not leave more clues?
They didn't have like a fridge that they could put a little magnet and a note on.
Well,
Did they have quills?
They obviously had a tree and fence posts that they could carve into. Why not carve a little map?
They could have just added like a see you there.
Something like that. Help them out.
FYI went to Croatoan.
Be back never.
TTYL.
See you soon.
Your fam.
Or not, because we're dead.
If he's sailing back to England to get supplies, and they get surrounded by natives who say, hey, you're coming with us, and they go, oh, you think so? Let me grab my knife. Oh, we don't have the knives yet.
Yes.
I guess, where do you want us to go? What do you want us to... Oh, you want us to jump in the ocean? You got it.
So
I'm saying I'm doing whatever they
So
tell
you
me.
think they lined them up and walked them themselves in the
I think they said, get in a single file line and walk into the ocean.
White then reportedly made 2 attempts to sail south about 50 miles to the nearby Croatoan Island, now known as Hatteras Island, to search for the colonists. However, according to White, both trips were foiled by storms, and he was forced to turn back each time. Because the boat White was using was privately owned, he was unable to try looking for a third time. He returned to Europe and moved to Ireland, where he passed away in 1593, never knowing what became of his family.
What if they hated him?
What?
What if they just hated him?
The entire colony hated him and decided we're just gonna bounce and leave without all of the supplies we needed?
I mean, they seemed like they were doing fine.
No, because they sent him to go get supplies. That was the purpose.
I'm saying that's their thing. Like, yeah, you better leave for 3 years.
You're saying that they faked starvation?
Yeah.
You think they all were doing a bit?
I think they were doing a bit. Good colonial razz. Just like, he's buying it. He's going to another island.
Oh my God.
We got him. He left. They all came back out, had a little pig roast.
The locals are in on it too. They're all like snickering behind the bushes.
We got him good.
Look, he's sailing away.
What an idiot.
To this day, nobody knows for certain the fate of the lost colony of Roanoke. Even more chilling, despite 115 people disappearing, no bodies or signs of a mass grave have ever been found. Historians have theorized on the lost colony in the hundreds of years that have passed, and plenty of people online have pointed to supernatural causes. None have been able to provide conclusive evidence. That being said, let's jump into the theories. The first theory is that the settlers were murdered by a local Native American tribe.